Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of Captain America issue 26. And this was a decent issue, still dealing with the whole thing of Steve trying to rescue his compatriots from the Red Skull's clutches. So, this whole issue kind of centers around Steve pretty much ruminating on the kind of cycle that he's got that happens a lot in the comic book sphere of life, death, and then life again. Because we see that in the beginning, him seeing everything with like Peggy being dead, him being old and then being turned young again by Kobik and all that. How it's the wrinkles that happen when like people come back and everything, like Peggy coming back and Alexa coming back and Sharon and all that, and what's going on with them. While he's ruminating on like how he usually is able to get through these things with his friends, and I'm like, that's a nice sentiment, and it's showcased pretty well throughout as we see Steve and Sam and Bucky and Sharon and everybody prevailing over the villains because of their friendships and everything. Though Ross kind of gets a kind of interesting kind of wrinkle towards the end. But we see he's dealing with all this stuff. We see that Ross is pretty much goading in Crossbones to do all this kind of thing, like beat the crap out of him. And while Misty and Natasha are looking on, we see that Sam is able to rescue Peggy from certain death falling from when she tried to take out Alexa. And let's see, that brings her back into the fight and everything. Bucky's able to kind of ascertain that he was not able to take out all of Madripoor's Air Force and is trying to figure out what to do, but he's given this kind of like interesting kind of flying helicopter airplane kind of hybrid thing to kind of go after him. But we see that Crossbones is like, screw this dude, I'm gonna go we'll leave, because Sin brings up, hey, we got all these planes coming inbound, let's get out of here, they'll die. And of course they leave Cutthroat to pretty much take out Ross and like deal more damage to him. It's like, oh yeah, this will only tickle. But of course Natasha's talking about how he's trying to be reborn and everything, he's getting pushed towards these kind of things. So Crossbones and Sin are trying to get out, and Bucky kind of like locks onto the planes and pretty much is getting ready to blow them up. But Sam pops up out of nowhere, pretty much trying to take on Crossbones and Sin, but he kind of gets like mucked up with the whole explosion from one of the planes. But he's able to right himself and get back into a decent kind of space. And Bucky then has to deal with the planes going after his ass. But we see that the Cutthroat dude went a little bit too far, and Ross is able to turn into the Red Hulk, as Steve's talking about how the accident pretty much got him into that point. And he then goes off and takes out the rest of the airplanes as he comes back. Steve's ruminating that he went to Madripoor to save some friends, and what he found there was like his friends, but also someone who was neither a friend nor foe, but a patriot. And he was also ruminating that Ross had sent Sharon into an obvious trap, and bringing about the whole thing of like being puppets in this whole kind of game. And we see that Ross is at first, at the end of the issue, got his eyes red, kind of like he's in the complete Hulk state, but then it goes back to a normal kind of sheen, and then he salutes Steve, which is kind of cool to see in his Red Hulk form. And it's really kind of strange to see a Hulk form with a mustache like that, but it's kind of cool too. So I enjoyed this of seeing Steve really kind of ruminating on his victories of how his friends have really helped him out. I mean, granted, he is a powerful dude in his own right, but he knows the values of and what friends can bring to a table, as we see throughout this whole issue of them doing their whole plans and dealing with wrinkles that pop up in plans, and then like getting through them into other different ways. And then seeing Ross kind of be maybe not a friend or whatnot to Steve, but someone who will count on as an ally to take on Alexa, the Red Skull, and their power elite and everything. So this was a kind of interesting end to bringing back the Red Hulk into play. So we'll see how that kind of hammers out and what the next kind of phase is going to be for Steve to take on the power elite. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.